Hi students, again I am Amit sir with your civics class for class 10. Today same chapter number 2, federalism I will discuss, and the next slide you will see the features of federalism that I am going to discuss today. And it's very much important question for the board purpose. Many a time this question has come, so stay tuned with me for the next 5 to 6 minutes, and I hope after seeing the video, if you go through the chapter as usual every day I tell you, your idea will be clear. So see, features of federalism, it is there on the screen. One by one feature I will discuss. See, federalism, already I have told you what is the meaning of federalism. So now the features. Feature number 1, in the federal country there must be 2 or more levels of government. Means minimum 2 levels of government should be there, as the state governments and the central government, and if required there may be more levels of government. For example, in India there is the third tier. These levels are also called as tier of government. In India there is a third tier also, that is the local government, means panchayat, municipalities are like that. So minimum 2 layers of government or 2 tiers of government is must for federalism. So second feature is that you can see that different tiers of government govern the same citizen. Suppose, for example, I am telling you, this idea will be clear. Suppose when the state government vote, means the vote for the MLAs, or you can say vote for the state legislative assembly takes place, that time we cast the vote as the citizen of the particular, as the people of the particular state. And when the central government election takes place, that is the election for the parliament, that time also we cast the vote. And when any law is passed by the parliament, means central government, that law we have to follow, as well as if any law is passed by our state government like West Bengal, that law also will also be applied to us. So different tiers of government govern the same citizen. We are the same citizen, but sometimes we are being governed by the central government, and sometimes we are being governed of the respective state government. I hope the idea is clear. Next, point number 3, that is each tier of government has its specific jurisdiction, means regarding taxation, regarding legislation. Okay, all the tiers, that means central government and the state governments, will have their separate area. Means some tax, for example, I am telling you, for some tax that could be collected by the central government, some tax could be collected by the state government. Okay, some laws are made by the central government, as well as some laws can be made by the state government. Now we see, with the same point comes to the fourth point. You see, all the powers of the respective governments are written in the constitution. That is the basic idea of federalism. That is, all the powers, whatever power is central government using, whatever power is state government using, all the powers are written in the constitution. No one can work beyond their power. So that is the good thing of the federal government, because last day in the unitary government I had told you that in the unitary government state governments are not having any specific power. The central government at any point of time they can remove the state government, but it is not possible in the federal system. In the federal system, state government and central government, all of their powers are written in the constitution. Clear? Next, fifth feature of a federal system is that there should be a powerful judiciary. Judiciary will have a powerful status in the federal government. Like our India, there is Supreme Court. Okay, if any dispute takes place regarding the central government, regarding any law like that, Supreme Court can solve the problem. And for the state, every state there is one high court, and courts decisions are mandatory even to the government also. And if these things are maintained, that means that country is having federal government. So when we will discuss the federal character of the Indian government, So these two things you keep in mind. Now I am discussing the federal features of all the federalisms. When we will discuss specifically the Indian federal system, that time these points you keep in mind, so it will be easier for you to understand the key features of Indian federalism. And number 6, you see clear mention of revenue collection, means which government will collect, because to run the activities of the government a huge money is required. Suppose the government makes the road, the government gives the salary to the government employees, the government also gives us different other facilities like water, electricity, or like that. For that purpose a lot of money is required. So which government will collect how much, and this money comes from the revenue or taxes, and which government will collect how much taxes, how much money, what type of taxes, everything is written in the constitution. It is clearly mentioned. For example, I am telling, suppose the income tax that is collected by the central government, some taxes are there which are collected by the state government, like the land tax, the tax on our houses. So these type of taxes are collected by the state government, so that money is used for our purpose only. So wait for the next slide. Now you see, we will discuss at last the dual objective of federalism. Actually, every federal country is having two objectives. Number 1, to safeguard and promote unity of the country. So at any cost, if we big country like India like that, the first aim of the federalism is that how to safeguard and promote the unity of the country, and that is possible, big country like India, that is possible by federalism. And second, accommodate regional diversity. A country like India, it is having a lot of diversities, like different type of people, different type of religion, different type of culture, different type of food habit. So if we give the power to a particular community, then automatically other communities may feel alienated, like Sri Lanka, already I have discussed. So federalism is the best option to accommodate regional diversity. When we will give the power to all the regions, all the particular state, automatically the people will feel that their needs, their priority has been taken care of. So automatically many of the problems can automatically be solved by accommodating regional diversity. That is possible in the federalism. Now you see my friends, that very important part I am going to discuss over here, that is how the federalisms are formed. That is there in your book also. Every country, those who are having federalism, their situations are different. Suppose Indian federalism, how much power will give to the central government, how much power will give to the state government, that may not be same with American federalism. So in federalism, power will be distributed, that is mandatory, but how much power will be distributed, how the power will be distributed, that depends on the situation, history, or present condition of the particular country. So on the basis of that, there are two ways by which we can set up federalism. That is, one, coming together federalism. Try to understand properly. When some independent countries come together to make one strong unit, strong country for their security purpose, for their purpose of cooperation, that time it is called coming together federalism. Like USA, you see the name of the USA, United States of America. That means some of the states, independent states, they became united to make one strong country. That is America, USA. Sorry, America is a big part. One part is the USA, United States of America. Australia. These are the coming together federalism. When some independent kingdoms, some independent states, they have come together to make themselves stronger. That is the coming together federalism. And second is the holding together federalism, when for the accommodation of regional diversity, for the accommodation of different type of demands, or for the better administration of a particular country, big country, we do divide the country into small parts, and that is called, and we give the power to those countries also That is called the holding together federalism. Like India. India is only one country, big country. So for better administration, to give the people better support by the government, we have divided the country into small states also, and we have given the power to them also. So that is called holding together federalism. And generally it has been seen that in the holding together federalism, the central government is having a bit more power and state governments are having a bit less powerful departments. Why? Because in the holding to the federalism, it is very much required for the central government to maintain the unity of the country. But in the coming to the federalism, basically we see state governments and central government both are having almost identical power, equal power, like America, USA. So I hope the idea is clear. So in the next video, we will discuss the next part of the federalism. Till that time, wait, stay happy, stay fit, stay home. Thank you very much. Good day.